Good morning. My name is Mahesh. I am from this village called Thenkahalli, Malavalli Taluk, Mandya district. It is 100 kilometers away from here. And I'm a mechanical engineer by profession. I am into these buildings and sustainability, climate change. Uh, I've been working in this the building and sustainability actually since almost 28 years. And I also work with World Bank on creating green building regulations actually for different countries like Indonesia, Colombia, in South America, Mexico, the many countries that we have worked on creating a green building regulation. That basically, the buildings consumes around 45 to 50% of the energy consumption, and then the CO2 emissions, the total CO2 emissions, around 40% of the CO2 emissions actually coming from the buildings. So it is important actually to reduce the CO2 emissions actually through building, designing a sustainable buildings and creating a policies for, how to, build a building and then how to make the, building green. When I, like a 6-year-old, 5 or 6-year-old, I never used to like, studying. So I always wanted to, go to the farms and then, I love buffaloes. I used to take buffaloes actually to the, to the forest, to the, uh, to the water. There are so many lakes around our village, and so like group of people, the kids, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, like that. We used to take buffaloes, and then what used to happen is we used to carry the food, share the food, and then buffaloes used to love water, so we used to allow them actually to be in the water. And then by evening 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, we created a bush, the cave inside the bush, and then we used to sit. One elder person actually used to come there and used to tell a story, creating one person like a one day he will make me hero, and then the story is created actually around me. So like that every day it used to happen. So a lot of fun in the village. So in the village people try, and they try to do a lot of things, new things. And the only problem is they have a problem actually with the market. When I myself actually was a farmer, you have to study as well as you have to do the farming together. And I always wanted to be a farmer. I don't want to become an engineer or anything. I want to stay actually in my village. So I tried a lot of farming, like a silkworm, and then growing vegetables, growing millets. Whatever we do, what happens, a lot of weather issues, the climate issues, and you grow, and then we are not able to sell because we don't know the market. So the middleman used to come and then basically used to take. So lot of times the amount of the money that we spent, forget about the labor, we never used to get that money only. So it was like, there is no guarantee that whatever you invest, it will come back. Assume that maybe you're all working actually for a company, and then they say that you work for 1 year, and we'll pay you, after 1 year. And then the employer actually says that we did not make profit, we lost the money, and then we cannot pay you any money. So what happens? So this is what happens actually to the every farmer. So there is no guarantee for him, that I put a lot of hard work. Like once I grew banana. uh, Actually banana takes almost 1 year to grow, and then we are able to sell at 20-25 rupees to the middleman. And then when we come actually, and then in the city it will sell at 50 to 60 rupees. So 365 days, 20 rupees, and 3 days, you are able to, the middleman actually make 30 rupees. This is the uncertainty actually for all the farmers. This happened to me, and then I felt so bad that whatever I do, people always in the village actually thinks that it's a fate. We cannot do anything. We born here, and then we have to die. Till the time actually we die, we try to do something. It's nothing. We cannot do anything. And the other problem is ours is a dry land, and water is the issue. And then nobody wanted to give their daughter actually to our village, because it's a completely a dry land. And the daughter comes and then work hard actually, because she has to go almost like a half a kilometer or 1 kilometer and bring the water. So that was also very difficult. So I tasted failure as a farmer, and then I decided actually I should become an engineer. And then resolved actually to change my narrative of my the community. founded a company with my brother, and he's also a software engineer. He runs this company. We used to grow millets before, and then it was stopped, I think, in the 80s, because the rice, in the public distribution system, we used to get rice and the wheat. So people actually stopped eating the millets, and also it's a social issue, because the person used to eat ragi or the millets, they are considered as a poor. Every village had a rich person, and they always used to eat the rice, and the poor people used to eat the ragi. The poor guy actually went and hit the rich person. His parents came and then scolded him that, we give rice to our son, and then your mother actually gives ragi, the millets actually to you. How can you hit my son? So that is a comparison. So the poor people always wanted to eat the rice, because that has become aspiration for all of us. So when the government started giving the rice, we all took the rice and then basically started eating the rice. We created a Kiru, a symbol of resilience, innovation, and community contribution. Kiru represents more than a snack; it is a narrative of transformation, hope, and the resilience. After starting this company, we said we want to do something to our village. We have become okay, and then we have, from a lower middle class or a low income actually to a middle income. We thought actually we want to do something to our village. Me and my brother thinking that what we can do actually with the village. The ODC started in 2012, and it's a big story actually converting land from agricultural land to industrial land. If you have to start a company, you need to convert your land actually to industrial land. And the government promised that in 3 months you get a single window clearance. So, you can apply, you can get a clearance, you can start the industry. Uh, the forest department wrongly accused us for proximity to river, because they thought that river actually is 1 kilometer away. Actually, it is 10 kilometers away. And then we are at the higher altitude, and it is at the lower altitude. We never get water. So our application got rejected thrice. You apply with all the documents, around 50, 55 documents, and then you apply, and then they all reject, because saying that the forest department actually did not approve. Then there is a pollution control board. They have some issues. Then you have a town planning. They say you don't have a road. So, and then once I went to US, and then we had to give the application, and then they said, without owners we cannot take the application, so the owner has to come. So I had to come all the way and then give the application in Mandya. It took around 40 to 50 treks, and going to the district collector office, and then sitting, standing actually in front of him from morning to evening, and then he will not talk to us. 2012 we started, and 2015 we got exactly 3 years we got the conversion. The land got converted. You always felt, why you want to start actually something, it's so painful that it took. And then I don't know what is the problem. I think we are a socialist country, so whatever the always the government officers thinks that all these people who wants to start an industry, they have a lot of money, let them pay actually. That's what they think that. So in 2015 we started. It is a 100% millet based snacks. We don't use maida or wheat in making the cookies or snacks that we produce. And the Kiru mission is to promote healthy snacking, celebrate farmers, and it's a more sustainable place actually to live. Because millets requires less water, or it is sustainable. Again, the why millets is because eco-friendly crop. It requires very less water. It doesn't need any fertilizers or chemicals. For it is a grass. Actually, it grows generally. Thousands of years in our village, people used to grow millets, and they know all kinds of millets. How to use, how to make a different dish actually out of this. From the millets, different varieties of millet, like 9 varieties of millet. They all knew, and it is also has got a lot of nutritions, and it requires very low cost. Minimal maintenance, or minimal cost actually to do the processing. So that was the reason the millets we started. And then we also wanted to create a lot of awareness, because to the young generation about the millets, because people are not aware, except ragi and jawar. Nobody is aware actually about other millets like kodo millet or a little millet, porso, or barnyard millet. So we, 2015 we got the approval, but prior to that we started our journey in 2013. working on how to come up with a product for the millets. So we set up the lab, and the problem actually with millets is that it doesn't bind. There is no gluten. The wheat actually has a gluten, and then the millet actually don't have a gluten. So, and there was no research or the information was not available. We went into the uncharted territory actually with no existing, because we went and asked a lot of CFTRI and then some other institute actually, do they have any such product. They all said we have product, but it is all mixed with the wheat or the maida, so we don't have a 100% millet based snacks. Then we went back and then we started working on a product. It took almost 3 years actually to come up with a product, 100% millet based snacks. But the problem is the taste. We are not getting the taste. So again, a lot of work actually went on. We are still developing. It's not that we stopped and then we found a product. A lot of work actually went on, developing a product. There are other financial hurdles. The State Bank of Mysore, it was there at the time. They said, no, we cannot give you a loan because you are setting up this factory in the village, and assume actually if you don't do well, then we have to sell it to somebody else. This whole asset has to be sold. Then who will come and buy in the village? We cannot give you a loan. And then after 2.5 years continuous follow-up, we got the approval on the day of State Bank of Mysore actually getting closed. So 5th, I think March, it was closed. 5 p.m. I got the sign that I got the approval. So they just signed and then they merged actually with the State Bank of India. And other problem actually with in the rural places, a lot of hygiene issues. People when you want to create a product, and then the facility has to be clean, created like a very hygiene facility. So we created a very really good like a 5-star kind of a facility for the people actually to come and work, the villagers. And they had a lot of issues. Small example, this mukti, the rings and then the nose rings. They had a glass, in the rings. I don't know what you call them. Metal detector cannot detect. If something falls actually on the product, it will not detect. So we requested that please don't not to wear. And 3 women actually started crying because when our husband alive, we cannot remove the rings or the earrings or the nose one. Again, we have to train them. Nothing will happen. You can wear wear it back actually after removing it. So they are okay after some time. And other problem is the jewelry has to be removed, and then a lot of it's all religious sentimental issues. So this is what we had. And other problem is the villages also, they have animals, right? The cows, the sheep, and the goats. So they go and touch, and when they touch, actually, that there is a chances of the bacterial, E. coli or any other bacterial actually coming to the hand and then the thing. Then we requested them to actually take a bath, and then after that, don't touch any animals. And they were not doing that, and we had to do the swab test and grow the bacteria actually in a lab, and then show them this is what your hand is. So please start. But when you take bath, after that don't touch. Then our toilets has to be kept clean, because if you don't if they don't see our place actually good, and then they cannot keep it in their house also, it's neat. So what we did is we created our toilets actually in a very good, kept our toilets in very hygiene condition. So they started practicing actually in their house, and then they started taking bath every day, because the women farmers every day they have to go and work in the field. It's not a like unless in city that we take bath every day. In the village nobody takes, like a Monday or a Friday they will take. Nowadays it started, before it was not there. So this is what the problem we had. So I just wanted to talk to you about what is the farmers actually are getting from this conventional farming model, where take an example of cost of 1 ton of ragi is around 20,000 rupees. So 20 rupees per kg actually in the villages. Selling price to a middleman to the mill and then to the factory actually comes to around 30 to 50% they will add, and then they sell it. and converting raw materials to end product, the manual cost is around 16,000 rupees. The cost benefit to the farmer is only 20,000 because it is only they will buy from the farmers and then they send it to the other places. In Kiru farming model, what we have done is we buy at a higher price because there is no middleman. We give the seeds and then buy directly actually from them. We buy at a market price, and so there is no selling price to the middleman. And converting raw materials happens at the village again by the women farmers. Again around 15,000 rupees actually it is converting. So from compared to the conventional farming model versus the Kiru farming model, 20,000 versus 40,000. I'm just giving an example of for a ragi. So the money stays at village and guaranteed fixed income to the farmers and guarantees a buyback. So the idea is the men work in the field, the women work in the factory, so that they can also get the double income. So that is the idea. And then I would like to show you some of the images. The farmers, we give so they lost the seeds, so we had to give them the seeds so they can grow. Around 500 acres right now actually there is a farming which is happening, and this is our team, and then this is our most of them are women employees. Around 80% of the employees are women, so they manage the the whole stuff. I think with this I conclude my presentation.
Thank you so much for the talk. I'd want to understand how climate change or global warming affects farming and
Okay. See, you grow paddy or the wheat. It requires a lot of water. That is one. And second thing is, when because the water has to be flooded, so the methane gets collected at the bottom of the the paddy field. So the methane also is internally is a greenhouse gas emission. That is one. And to process these any of these what do you call the paddy or the rice or the wheat or any other thing, so requires a lot of energy. You need a lot of chemicals, lot of fertilizers. That also requires the energy. The energy, most of the energy coming from the fossil fuel. So that's how actually the CO2 getting converted. And other problem is it requires a lot of water, the fresh water. One is supplying the fresh water, and 60% of the the total. If you take India, 60% of the fresh water goes to the farming. And then if you grow like a paddy or the wheat, it requires a lot of water. Compared to millets actually like twice or thrice rainfall is enough to grow the millets. It is basically a grass. It has got a 10,000 years of history, and it used to grow here, and then it was growing in China, Africa. So it is just a grass, and then that's how actually it requires very less energy to grow or to process. Yeah.
You mentioned a socio-cultural difference between the rice eaters and the millet eaters. With these products, how do you find the acceptability? Are the urban people liking millet? Is there
urban people are liking, but not the rural people, because rural people every day they eat this, the millets. So urban people are liking the.
So you mentioned that other millet products in the market have a binding agent in a lesser quantity. So in your research, did you find any alternative, or is it 100% millet?
We use a lot of natural materials to to do the binding.
So it's like gluten-free, wheat.
It's a gluten-free.
Okay, found some other
it's natural, like some gums that we have used. Okay. It's a natural gums that we have used. Okay. And also like a lot of process, that requires. The problem with the millets is it has a little bit what do you call sourness is there. So that has to be removed actually by soaking the millets. Like that we have to do it. Bitterness. So that bitterness has to be taken by soaking the millets for 8 hours and then basically process.
I'm just thinking in the context of India's G20 summit that we had in Chandigarh, I think it was last year, which was entirely on millets, right? Yeah. So there is a lot of
last year, 2023 was the United Nations
right,
the year of millets. Yeah.
Right, year of millets. So there is obviously a lot happening both at the central government level, but also, let's say, in the context of G20. So and in this sort of but just about the crop itself, I just wanted to understand sort of what are the additional benefits? Is it like a mixed crop thing, right? Just at the level of farmers, and then let's say what happens when, let's say, these products are made, right? Which involves, of course, a lot of processing, right? But about the cereal itself and its direct consumption, and let's say if you could throw some light in the context of the farmers' bill and all those kind of things, right? Is how is millet being looked in those conversations, right? MSP and those kind of things.
So basically, the millets, no, directly, if you see, the problem with millets is there is one millet called kodo millet. It's called arka. So it has got like 7 layers. So it has to be removed. 7 layers has to be removed. So that is also earlier they used to do this pounding, and then they used to remove the husk. So we have a machine now that basically removes the husk, and even then also you cannot cook directly. You need to soak it for 4 to 5 hours. So what we are trying to do is we have developed some of the thing that we soak, we dry, we do the solar drying, and then roast it, and then ready. It is ready actually for cooking. So otherwise, when you wanted to cook in the home, it takes some time. It requires a lot of time actually to cook, and also you need to soak before that. So you can like a ragi and then jawar and the pearl millet, you can directly use it. But other millets require some kind of soaking and drying. So yeah, definitely we also got a mill now, and we are also supplying the millets directly without processing.
Good morning. I'm Anush.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Basavanna, for sharing your journey. From what I take from your journey is that, as you said, that you're first a farmer, then community creator. I see that this journey, that is the packaging of millet, is more of a journey of acceptance within your own communities, and as well as general acceptance of a native millets as a credible and a sustainable food source. But so this is your initial groundwork of creating that acceptance in many markets and many communities. So how far have you come in your own journey and in your community journey in accepting with pride, accepting the toil of your efforts? Yeah. And what is next? In terms of sustainability, we always think about how far you can, go with this effort, and how relevant you will be in the, coming years. So I want you to talk more on cultural, economic aspect of acceptability, as well as moving forward, in terms of making this more relevant and relatable to the communities. Yeah.
I think 2016 our first products really got released to the market, and the acceptability was little low because the taste was not that good. People always had this the taste of this junk food, right? They use like MSG and other preservatives, additives, and we don't use any of those, and only few people used to like it. Then after that we went back, and then a continuous, we have done the research. The only problem is that there is a conscious issue that whatever we make, my brother used to give to his kids like a 1 year, 2 year old. So I cannot make anything wrong. Anything, I cannot add anything bad. So that was the test actually for us. So without compromising actually on the health thing, we tried adding other flavors like a natural flavors to improve the quality of the taste of the product. I think we have it's we cannot compare, like we have crunchies that cannot be compared with a Lays or any other thing, but the taste is okay now, but we did not reach to that level. In the villages also, because we were giving to the villages and people are still buying, but not all the villages people actually liking it, but urban acceptance is there. Right now actually we are supplying to the companies. We are selling it to most of the companies for their snacks, like G, they are buying our products, and Wipro, for their all the meetings they are using our products. So like that, there are Bosch, there are many companies they are buying our products, and we are present actually in very few supermarkets, but I think we are not there. We are still working actually towards that. On the acceptability limit, it is we are not reached. We are still reaching. So basically, like right now, we are there are farmers, 500 farmers working with us, and then we are buying directly. We give them the seeds, and then they give the materials, and their wives actually, and then coming work in the factory. So it is what is happening, but at the scale, at the mass level, actually, it is still we are yet to reach. We have not reached to the stage. And a lot of work actually that we are working on developing a product, improving the taste, and then coming with different varieties of the product. That's what we are doing.
And you mentioned that Wipro and others are using it, buying it. What was that journey like? How did you convince these companies to invest or buy from you?
Yeah. Wipro is buying almost some 7-8 years, since 7-8 years. And basically, when we talked, they came to our factory. They saw our the place, the way we manufacture, and they tasted our product. They felt that the taste has to be improved, but they said we'll all give it to their the customers, their business meetings. They wanted to give it to that's what actually started. With G, I think we went and presented our case and then explained the story. But we always felt actually that we don't want to undersell the farmers. We always wanted to. Farmers are in difficult. Please help them. We never said. We are a farming. We are a farmers, and this is the product that we are doing it. And then and a few people are liking it, and few people are not. Not liking it. So. Yeah.
What are your future plans?
See, the idea is we had a lot of what you call plan. We wanted to create these kind of places around the country. It becomes an example, and we don't want. My question is, the idea is whatever we eat, that has to be local. We don't want the food or the lays are coming from Punjab or any other place. The Punjab people has to eat their own food, and then the Karnataka people has to eat their own food. Otherwise, the farmers will come and create a slum here, or they will work as a security or the garment factory. The local farmers. So the idea is, if you are able to source locally, all the food, then then I feel that we have less congestion and then less slum actually to happen. So that is the idea. And then we want this to be succeeded, and then with that I think we wanted to go to other place. The idea is basically that we want to do a local, the farmers around the Bangalore actually they should supply, their own whatever they grow actually they should supply to Bangalore. Yeah.
Hi. So I had a question with respect to how you convince your fellow farmers to keep growing that millet. The stories I've heard is that once, like in the case of tomato, once they see prices rising, they will all change to the crop which is giving a lot more money or a cash crop, and then that happens. So how do you convince them, or how did you convince them to keep growing the millet?
So one good thing is there is no water, so they cannot grow some vegetables there. When only few people had the borewells, and then they are growing. The other thing is we are not asking them to grow, the millets, to complete, on their land. We are asking them, you just give like a 20 gunda half acre and then grow, and then we basically, not otherwise they are stuck actually with us, right? So we ask them to do only for half an acre or 1 acre, and then they supply to us. And other thing is we also given them the freedom that if you think our price is low, you can also go and sell it to others. But we always keep our price more than what is the market price.
So what did you start off with? Like, what was your first product when you first initially went into the market, and how much have you expanded? Like, how many products do you have now as opposed to just like
I
one?
think we had we started with the cookies. I think we have around 30 products, like 30. 30. So we have cookies, and we have crunchies, and we have bars.
Okay.
Like a millet bars and millet crunchies and cookies.
As an urban person, as a corporate person, we are all like living busy city lives. This is something that had always been in the back of my head, to do something with a little bit of land that we have in the village. But I do not have any knowledge about where to start from or what to do if I want to even try doing something with the existing career. First of all, do you think it is possible? Because I heard you were also like into your job as an engineer and then you got back into farming and then expanding your products. So, first of all, is it possible for one to have a full time career and to start off small somewhere? And if one has to start, what would be the ABC of that? Like, what all do I need to know, or where do I start from to grow millets, especially?
There are very successful farmers, in our villages. They are able to earn very good money. They do a lot of like other plantation like banana and other things. Like more than like they are able to earn 50-60 lakhs in a year. Okay, they do really well. So some farmers. I think to start with the millets, it's a 3 months crop, like a 2 to 3 months, 2.5 months or 3 months crop. I feel that you should not depend, only on millets. You should do other crops also, like a commercial crops. If you have water, grow other you can grow banana along with that, or fruits along with that. You can grow, what do you call the millets. So I feel that I think you should grow millets for your own consumption. Then excess actually you should sell. So that's what I feel. But I have seen there are farmers who are very successful and then who are able to make money and then they live a fantastic life actually in the villages. If you go to Chamrajnagar, that side, so there are very good farmers. I have seen them.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಬರೀ ಮಿಲ್ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನೋ ಬೆಳೆದೆ, ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗನ್ ಫ್ರೂಟು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಬೇರೆ ಥರದ್ದು ಬೆಳೆದು ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕನ್ವಿನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಒಂದು? ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟಬಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀರಾ. ನೀವು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀರಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆರ್ ಯು ಟೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್?
See this. I told you already that millets, it cannot be 100% that you can grow. Only grow in a very small land to start with. Then after that, once it picks up the market, then you can grow actually in other places. And every the farmer always have some land to grow the millets. The land is not like one place, some 5 acres or 10 acres. They have 5 acres in 10 different places. So half an acre, 1 acre like that. So that is one. And see, we are not making money yet because lot of work. We are investing actually on developing products, buying machines, and we have to come up with the new machines because there is no availability of machines. Like to buy a what you call de-husking, the mill. We don't have a technology here, so I had to go to China, and then they had a technology. So we bought the machine actually from there, and so there are a lot of because the rice, there are a lot of mills, and then they're already there, like a wheat mill or the rice mill. But millets they did not have, and nobody actually has innovated on anything on the processing and de-husking the mills. So a lot of money that we are spending actually on developing machines or improving the product. That's what it is, is happening. So we are ready to make the money.
Sir, I also had a question. Just on the retail front, what are the challenges you faced recently? Especially, we've been seeing, slowly like products of Kiru also in the market now. But retail, what has been the challenge? And also on the brand building front and storytelling aspect, there's so much effort that has gone into it. Can you tell us a little about how that becomes important?
Yeah. So one is on the retail. We tried, 5-6 districts, and then people always compared two things. One is the price. So they want at 5 rupees, and they want better than the other product, which is like a junk, we call them. and then they always compare actually the taste, and the second thing is the price. So we are not able to, because we are not producing mass, even then also, because it requires, the millet requires a lot of what do you call it, you have to remove the husk, and then and it's not grow actually as easy as compared to other rice. So there is a challenge that we faced, and now we are supplying to few supermarkets, and then more actually on the offices that we are, as a snacks that we are supplying. We not now, later actually we wanted to go to retail, and then once we develop a proper product. So on the branding, I'm sure actually that I don't know. You have to tell us. So, we are trying to improve our the looks and the aesthetics, and I think we are yet to reach.
So you were also saying that, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have come in to study the research that has been done and the way a brand has grown. Are there other examples of people who've adopted some of these concepts as well?
Yeah.
Can you mention some of,
Like there is one Indian Institute of Millet Research in Hyderabad. It's a central government department. So they also saw our product. The CFTRI also, they also saw our product, and they are also trying to work. They also developed now 100% millet products.
So, could you shed some light on your association with the World Bank and working with other countries to throw light into millet as a mainstream?
Not done the millet. I worked on different
other things. Okay, so this one was on millets.
Sorry.
It's not. So your association is not through millets, but other.
I will explain actually.
Thank you.
See, I started my career as a mechanical engineer in the building industry. So a lot of people used to think that what is there for mechanical engineers in the building. But there is a lot of scope for the mechanical engineer in the building industry, because the heat coming to the building, we need to air condition. And then nowadays you see a lot of glass buildings, right? So it is basically a greenhouse. We are allowing the sun to come and then heating the building, and then we try to cool the building actually using the air conditioning system. In old buildings, you don't see these kind of glass, and like you see, like you go to Whitefield or Electronic City, full of glass buildings. People cannot sit, and they have to air conditioning all the time. So we work with architects and then the owners on how to design green buildings, or buildings which are self-sustainable, where you don't you need to air conditioning, but you require very less energy to cool the building. And there are buildings that we have created, like campuses, that requires that we don't take electricity or water from outside. It is a self-sufficient building. So I'm talking about 150 acre, 200 acre campus like IIMs and IITs and Infosys campuses, where we grow our own water and we grow our own energy, where we don't depend actually on outside electricity or water. So with the World Bank, I've started my career. I've started working with World Bank since 2010 in Washington DC. So my job actually with the World Bank is, the World Bank has two priorities. One is eradication of poverty, and second thing is on the climate change. So I work in a climate change department. My job actually is to work with the different governments to bring up policies, regulations on how to design green buildings. Basically, to get a decree saying that you cannot use so much of glass, or you cannot use, or you have to use the efficient air conditioning system or efficient walls. That's what actually we do. So we come up with regulations and then implement in those countries. Yeah. That's what I do.